Hello guys, Nicholas here with a quick video on how to map your MIDI controller using Reaktor. In this case, this video will be good for working with the Reaktor as a standalone or also with Logic or any DAW pretty much. But for now, I'm going to use it with Reaktor as a standalone. First of all, there's very important to notice you as soon as you connect your you plug your keyboard, MIDI keyboard, go to File, locate the audio and MIDI settings, and make sure that the keyboard shows up here in the MIDI section. So in my case, I have an Novation Launch Key Mark II 49. So both have to be on in the status, input and output. So just make sure that that is always on and did you actually see your keyboard there. Hit OK. So basically there are two ways of doing this. One is the easy way and the other is the easiest. So I'm going to start with the easiest, which is very, very straightforward. So for example, if you want to, let's say that I have this patch. Let me just play something here. So simple patch. I have an oscillator controlled by an LFO, and also I have a couple of envelopes that are controlling the filter and the amplifier. So what if I want to control the volume of the BCA here, just for fun? So how to map this? Basically just right click on that function. So hover over that knob, right click, sorry, not the cable, but the knob, and select MIDI and OSC learn. Now, if I just move my knob here, it's gonna do the job. As easy as that. In the same way, so let's leave this on. If I wanna control the speed, for example, of the LFO, again, right click, MIDI, and then let's say that I wanna move this fader. Very simple. Now, the second way, it requires a few extra steps, but it gives you the advantage of listing all your functions of the keyboard. So for example, you can list all the keys, all the faders in this case, and all the knobs and all the buttons. So this is by using the panel control, which is this little icon here under the Reaktor icon. So click on it, and we're gonna use the auto listening. What this does is that as soon as you start hitting a key, it's gonna be listed on that on this section. So I'm gonna list, for example, the lowest C on my keyboard until, let's say, 2 octaves. Okay, so that's note 36 through note 84. And let's say that I want also to list the faders and a few knobs. So again, and just a couple of knobs. All right. So the advantage of this is that once you have listed all the keys and all the buttons, you can just basically drag and drop to the function that you want to use. So for example, let me just make sure that fader, master fader, for example, is going to be CC7, as you can see in this on the screen. So I want to control the volume, the overall volume of Reaktor. So with C7, I'm just gonna go drag this icon, which is like 4 arrows, into the volume icon. As soon as you see the plus sign, you can just drop it. Now, this is controlling my volume. Of course, I don't have anything because I need to lower, actually turn up the volume of my BCA. So master is going to be the master volume in this case, but it could be any other thing. Knob 1 is the volume of a BCA. which I previously set it from the first option. And fader 2 is the speed of my LFO. Simple as that. I could also say, for example, I don't know, let's change the cutoff. Why not? So I'm gonna be using fader 3 for that. So fader 3 CC43. What I need to do is drag this arrow into the cutoff knob on the filter. So now if I unmute this, I have my filter working with this fader number 3. In the same way, I could use, for example, CC, let's say, 44 to manipulate the resonance. The advantage of this is that you can actually do like a nice, you can control the filter sweep. You can control the timing, so it can be like a smooth. So for example, here. So basically the main idea of this is that you can control manually with your keyboard instead of, you know, being using the mouse, which is a little bit of a pain. So I think it's better just to use your controller if you have the access to a MIDI controller, either if it's a keyboard or another kind of MIDI controller. So also make sure, just keep in mind that these knobs and all these functions are going to be assigned only to the patch, the user patch in which you are working on. Once you change patch, for example, I'm going to change here. Of course, I'm going to save the changes. Once you change patch, those functions are not going to be present on this patch because this patch has other functions. So for example, my fader here doesn't do anything, or the knob doesn't do anything because there's nothing assigned that. But if I go back to add one, which is my original patch, I can go back to the functions. All right, guys, I hope you found this useful and see you next time.